DMK is unlike any skincare company on earth. Named after visionary founder Danae Montague King, DMK is committed to providing individualized products and treatment plans that heal skin on the cellular level, whether the condition concerns pigmentation, acne, inflammation, or signs of aging. DMK is home to the original enzyme mask, the game-changing formula that sends oxygenating, tightening, and exfoliating signals into the skin to enact changes in skin structures from the inside out. At DMK, we believe everyone deserves to feel the confidence that comes with healthy, beautiful skin. Learn more at DanaeMKing.com. That's DANNEM King.com. Are you interested in providing results-driven treatment services? Join a team of like-minded individuals who share your passion and support your success. With more than 1,000 franchised locations in 49 states, Massage Envy is not only the nation's #1 provider of massage services collectively across its franchise network, but also a national leader in skincare. Start or grow your career at a Massage Envy franchised location. Visit massageenvy.com/SDcareers for full details.
Hello and welcome to ASCP Esty Talk. I'm Ella Cressman, licensed esthetician and content contributor for Associated Skincare Professionals.
I am Maggie Staszcuk, licensed esthetician and ASCP's program director.
Guess what we got today?
A shout out.
We have 3 shout outs.
Whoa.
So first is Elizabeth at Serenity Aesthetics by Elizabeth. I got to meet her and it's so fun. I got to meet her and also Celeste Montoya of House of Aesthetics and Wellness. So they're local here in Colorado. I met them at an event and we had so much fun. So shout out to you ladies and cannot wait to grab a beverage soon. And then there's one other person that I wanted to shout out because at this event, it was a tight room. It was a packed house. And it was funny because I was just myself. And sometimes being yourself can be really vulnerable because you don't know how people will respond to you. But I was like, whatever. And I am knocking on the door of perimenopause. I'm not sure where I'm at in the process of it, but I was hot. So I was like fanning myself. And I was just really honest with them as I'm teaching this class. I'm like, hey, you guys, I think this is where I'm at. And then again, I was just myself. And this shout out goes to someone that I can just really only identify as Kay. She actually slipped me a note. And let me read it to you. She says, Ella, it's truly been a pleasure watching you today. You are simply a stunning individual, beautiful, funny, and incredibly intelligent. It's people like you that inspire. Thank you. And I cannot tell you I keep it, you guys can't see it, but I keep this note in my purse just to remind me because it was so kind and it was unwarranted and I had no idea. It's not to say I didn't care. I was just me that day. I was just me. I was sweating. I was hot. I have swollen feet, like all of the things. But yeah, so Kay, thank you. You really, when you come into contact with people who can change your mood, change your day, or change your year, you just never know what someone else is going through. And for me, I was going through an incredible amount of stress at that time. And this made pretty much, I can't wait probably until it disintegrates in my purse. So we'll see. But speaking of that, one of my favorite things is a couple times a year, this big consumer-directed magazine comes out, and its contents are full of a lot of plastic surgery trends and different doctors in different areas. So you've heard of New Beauty, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a Bible, and I love to look in that because I'm seeing exactly what's directed towards the consumer and setting. But this particular issue, I don't know what was going on with me, but I'm like, struck with all of these trends. I was like, have you been in my brain? Do you know my deepest, darkest insecurities? Because they were all listed out. Have you ever had something like that happen to you?
Oh, yeah, totally. That's just the universe talking back at you.
I was like, what are you trying to say, universe? So I thought it would be fun to talk about them here. One of them that was really interesting, and I cannot wait to see where this goes, was customizing or personalizing hair care. Have you done any, you've seen those companies who or this is specifically Maggie shampoo based on your concerns. Have you done that yet?
No, I haven't, but I have seen it. I don't know how I feel about this because I'm into the hair, but I feel like at the end of the day, shampoo is shampoo. You're either going to get the moisturizing or the volumizing. And I do get that there's great shampoo and there's crappy shampoo. You can feel the difference. This whole idea of quote unquote customizing for Maggie, I don't know if I buy into that.
Oh my God, I can't wait for you to buy it and tell me about it. We should go through and go through the process and see what it's like. Of course, you know me, I'm a sucker for that stuff. I'm like, maybe I should. I'm tossing it around. I'm tossing my little bar shampoo around. But what the premise is that it takes the guesswork out of, is this moisturizing or is this volumizing? And it's like, this is what you need based on your genetics.
Yeah.
But it's probably like a quiz of some sort.
I do love a good quiz.
Okay, I think we should try it.
The quizzes suck me in until it says, we want your social security number and your email and your address. And then I say, screw you. And I guess I don't get my results.
What if it was your, what is that company that does your ancestry DNA? That's what they might be looking for.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is that understanding the biology of the hair is an integral part of pinpointing what your real needs are. How can we create effective and customized formulations? I'm with you. I doubt there's like scratching out Jennifer's name and writing Maggie on there because I doubt there's so much. I think there's probably like a little template, if you will, of a little bit of this and there, a little bit of that. But it's the same with those vitamins that are designated just for you. You've seen those that you could take. Like, I doubt it. You're probably just sprinkling it in.
Yeah.
It's like a salad bar in my mind.
Yeah.
Do they even have salad bars anymore post-COVID?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can go pick whatever you need.
Super salad.
Is it still open?
I don't know.
Okay.
It's not.
Mine was sweet tomatoes, and I don't.
Hometown buffet.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. We'll have to check into that. But there one thing's for sure that there has been a huge growth in that sector. These customized brands for places that you'll go online to have the customization, but now head spas. Huge.
Interesting.
So we need to still go, but you go to this head spa. They are looking similar to a skin analysis. They're looking at your head under a microscope. They're showing you the pictures. They're doing customized treatment for you based on the buildup that you have, the kind of similar, like, oh, you might have combination skin, or you have dry skin, or you have sensitive skin, but it's your scalp. They go through all these treatments, and then they show you the camera afterwards.
Very interesting. I know that several years back, there was this whole skinification of hair, and people were starting to treat the scalp. And then I thought it just kind of fizzled and died off. But it sounds like this trend has carried on.
And I want to see what happens, because with scope of practice, it's skin, right? But you see them popping up all over the country, and different practitioners that might not be hair people are opening them up. So I want to know your thoughts on that.
I think that's very gray. You can argue it's skin, but at the end of the day, I guarantee you State Board is going to come knocking and say, no way, you're touching the scalp. That's cosmetology. You're in the hair. I don't know.
I can't wait to see if they'll have another certification, because I'm not a cosmetologist. Do you learn that in depth of those things? Are you learning more?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, and I think there are states, or at least at one point, I know that rules are always changing, but at one point, estheticians could not touch the scalp. That was outside their scope. And we're always wrapping the hair. You don't put your hands in the hair. That's unsanitary. If you do, you're resanitizing.
Yeah, I cannot wait to see if they're ever curious about your regulations. Contact your state, or sometimes ASCP, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see. I can't wait to see it, because there's these certifications and different things. So let's watch and find out what happens. And then next, we have the medication revolution. If you haven't heard of Ozempic, Wegovy, or Zepbound, or any of these other GLP-1 medications, you are not watching TV, the radio, or on social media. You probably live in the mountains, and you probably get your water from a well, because this is everywhere, right?
It's everywhere, yeah.
Here's the thing. It has revolutionized weight loss. And so there's some people that, to the point where there's been controversy about it being available for diabetics, because that's really what it was. And then originally prescribed off-label for a while for people for weight loss. And then now it's introducing the off-brand names and compounding pharmacies to the masses. So the people that could really use this help. And then others who just want to lose 5, 10, 15 pounds, which none of my business by any means on that part. But I think this is not only something that's encouraged for those who need it, but also as like an easier way for those who might not need it. Have you heard of that?
Not necessarily with these medications, but I know, like, for instance, when Cool Sculpting came on to the market, there was this debate as well. People who, barely had a smidge of fat to lose were still opting in for Cool Sculpting. They were having to be turned away. There was a very subset of the market where Cool Sculpting was effective. And those that were on one end of the spectrum and the other end of the spectrum, it didn't apply, but they were still coming in and getting these treatments. And there were people that were having negative side effects because they weren't ideal candidates.
It's interesting to watch this too. And you could see it all over. It's changing things. It's changing things rapidly. You could see it on my favorite shows, The Real Housewives. These beautiful, voluptuous, lovely women before are now just tinier. So it's not just reshaping bodies, these inhibitors, this medication, but it's also pushing demand for other cosmetic treatments or what some are calling tweakments. Here's the thing. 62% of GLP-1 users worry about loose or sagging skin after reaching their weight loss goals because it's so fast. So we talked about it in the Ozempic phase. And then I know you're losing weight so fast that the matrix doesn't have time to keep up. And so it's just there. And then depending on the volume that you lose, it could happen and not bounce back, if you will. So there's a rise in skin tightening treatments, and skin tightening body care are huge gone up. So here's the other thing. As a practitioner, being aware of this, not just for facial treatments, but the incorporation of body treatments into your practice is key.
Hold that thought. We'll be right back.
Ella, Australian-born, globally loved. Ella story is simple. They love lashes and brows. They shoot for the stars and lift lashes to new heights. Their addiction is real, their passion is popping, and there is nothing more they crave than offering excellence, service, and innovation in products. Ella Lash Lift allows you to offer your customers luscious, lifted lashes that can last up to 12 weeks in one safe 20-minute treatment. Learn more at ellabana-usa.com.
Okay, here we go. Let's get back to the podcast.
Something else that's interesting is that there has been a 37.3% increase in facelifts since last year.
This boggles my mind because I really thought facelifts, that's a massive surgery. I thought that was like 1980s and we were done and over with them. Obviously there's the occasional person that still opts in, but I thought with all the device advancements, the product advancements, that facelifts weren't a thing anymore.
They're very much a thing, and they're paying lots of money for them. There's this coined one called a ponytail facial, where apparently, I haven't had a facelift yet. Who knows if I will? But apparently, when you get a facelift, normally or historically, you would still be obvious when you turn your head to your left or your right that there was work done. If you didn't look behind the ears. Because I've had clients who've had it done and there's telltale signs. But this ponytail lift is supposed to be so it's undetectable and you would never know. And
you just pull on the pony and boom.
That's what my aunt told me. She's like, when you're getting older, you're going to want a tight pony, a tight low. Pulled everything back. So, but interesting. This is a 40% jump.
I know. I just, wow. I can't believe it. I mean, when I first started in the aesthetics industry, early 2000s, I definitely had those clients, like you're saying, you'd pull the hair back and you could see they had had a facelift. And then over the years, that dropped off. You stopped seeing that.
And I think they have like lower facelift, neck lift, just more segmented and more specialized now too. Full face. So before it was just cut it and pull it back and you're good.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's so crass to say it that way, but yeah. So what do we need to know as professionals? Getting the skin healthy before and then keeping it healthy after. So really being open with your clients who are going to have this service. Make sure you're doing hydrating services. Make sure they've got plenty of yummy, nutritive rich products at home and that you're supporting not only them, but also the direction of the physician for post-care. So something to know. Here's another one. get this. Oh, by the way, I think breast implants were down. Augmentation, I should say. Augmentation are down. I think there's more awareness around the potential of, this is it called the implant disease or disorder. So another time we could talk about that.
And I think Hollywood directs some of this a little bit because there have been a lot of people in the media that have been vocal about having their implants removed.
It's called explantation. Interesting. Implant. And I had to think about it. Oh, MX. Okay, go.
Yeah.
But explantation, then also even the size has changed. This idea of what they should look like. You'll see that on Real Housewives of Orange County because you could see who had an old one and who had a recent one. They're like explanting their large ones and reimplanting smaller CCs. So that idea of beauty has changed. So
Interesting.
So now there's 11,000 lower body lifts that were performed last year alone. That's probably indicative of how much weight is being lost also with these GLP-1s.
That makes sense.
But interesting how this medication can have that much influence, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll have to tell you some other time my experience. But then I flip the page in the magazine and it's like the lead up. And then I see this ballet body boom. So basically, the American Society of Plastic Surgeons are saying that there's a rise in procedures aimed at achieving a slender aesthetic. And my first thought was 3 little letters. It starts with the W. It's like, are you kidding me? I've seen the evolution of beauty, the ideal of beauty, and watch it change. And for a while, I was so encouraged by this body positivity because I've always been taller and more curvy. Always, always, always. And now I've got not just a figure 8, I've got like a 2 infinities going on. And I am perimenopausal and it is harder now than it has been. And I look at pictures of myself, like even my Facebook picture is from before I had gained. And I'm like, I was so stupid. I thought I was fat then, I was so cute then. But I think when there was this body positivity movement, I finally felt valid. I felt like, oh my God, okay, all right, cool. I am beautiful. I am desirable. I am worthy, which was the most this is the most ridiculous of all of those statements. But that's like honestly how I felt.
You are, Ella. Listen, I am not seeing 2 infinities.
Well, and beyond.
And beyond.
I'm fine with it. And I'm more fine. I'm lying. I am lying. I'm not fine with it. I'm accepting of it. But as messed up as this sounds, but I know I'm not alone in that. I know that people have this, finally, you see on the Dove ads, there's people that, I can identify with you. I can identify with you. I'm not chasing the Kate Moss. Remember Kate Moss?
Yes. Well, and I'm glad you're saying that because we talked about this before we started recording. I feel like part of this has to do with this throwback to the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 90s are back. And with that comes this like waif-like body, super slender, Gwyneth Paltrow, Kate Moss, whatever name you want to say. That's what we're seeing.
So what's going to happen to our eyebrows? Are we going to start having
they're going to disappear.
Oh no. How about Pam Anderson?
Yes. Okay. Pam Anderson, if you guys don't know, she was on the cover of a magazine with no makeup or the no makeup look. She was her quote unquote true self. And it was really controversial. There were some people who were loving it, praising her. And then there were other people saying, wow, that's not her. It doesn't look like her. And what's more is that her eyebrows are almost non-existent. They're like one little row of hairs because, through the 90s, I'm sure, she has over-tweezed, over-waxed, and they haven't grown back.
Yeah. And then her face looks different too.
It does.
But she was the symbol of beauty in her shape, in her bra size, in her eyebrows, that people wanted to be that big blonde hair, which her hair is a lot thinner now than it used to be. She has sun damage. She is who she is. And she's like, what, take it or leave it. And I thought, oh my gosh, that is so cool. Yeah. But there's people who are like, ooh, she's really fallen from grace.
Yeah. It's when you first see it, for me anyway, it was kind of like, I was taken aback a little bit. I was like, that's Pam Anderson? No way. You almost don't recognize her.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go back to the body positivity of it. So we saw this movement and how it celebrated people for who they were. Like this, I mean, that's courageous for Pam to do. Pam, because we're on a first name basis. Me and Pam went for coffee after this.
Yeah.
But it was courageous for her to do that. Perceived flaws and all, her one single strand of hair, thick eyebrows. But my biggest fear is that this new ballet body, because my ballet body is like Fantasia, you know the Fantasia Disney one.
Yes,
the
and I
hippos
love
and the little tutu.
Fantasia.
I know they're cute. So that's my ballet body. I'll take it. But is this going to encourage the misuse of these prescription drugs? First of all, for people who really don't need to, but they think they do. They think they need that 5 pounds. And then also, most importantly, will this undo the progress that was made from the body positivity movement? I don't know. And that makes me sad.
Yeah, I would say probably yes to all of the above. Probably that medication already is being misused, but I point the finger at the doctors who are prescribing it if that's the case. But there's always the black market. If people are so desperate, they're going to find a way, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, you're 100% right. We're seeing these trends being listed in one magazine, but it's a huge magazine, and that's how trends start, right? And it would be unfortunate if this body positivity movement starts moving in the wrong direction.
Backwards, digression.
Yeah. But like all things, that's how trends go. And maybe it wasn't a movement. Maybe it was just a trend.
Maybe it was moved to the side now.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
So back to Kay. Kay, who I don't even know your real name, just the letter K. That's how she signed it. Thank you for the note. Like, you have no idea, because I felt like Fantasia, ballet girl, that stage, because I'm like, oh gosh. But she made me feel like, oh cool, I do make a difference, which is the most important thing to me. So irregardless, the other shout out I do want to give is to the 5th agreement. So in our book club last year, we had the 4 agreements, and there's a 5th agreement. So all this is going on, and all this is spinning in my head. And I'm reading that new book, the 5th agreement, and it's talking about the symbols and how symbols are a lie. So the symbolism of perceived beauty is just that. It's just an impression, and it's just an opinion. And so that was really helpful. I think you guys should read it anyways, because for business owners or for solopreneurs or for people who work in an image conscious field, we're like bombarded with it. Check it out. It's such a good book. So on that note, listeners, we really want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on trends of customized hair care, weight loss medication, and then also, of course, the new ballet body? What does this mean for our future? Reach out via Instagram, Facebook, or send us an email at getconnected@ascpskincare.com. In the meantime, thank you for listening to ASCP Esty Talk. For more information on this episode, or for ways to connect with Maggie or myself, or to learn more about ASCP, check out the show notes. And stay tuned for the next episode of ASCP Esty Talk.